Good evening, everybody. How you doing, man? What's going on? This is Mark. This is Catfish and Crappie. Like you guys don't know that already. Thanks for checking out the show. Great, very happy to see everybody in here. I want to give a big shout out to Miss Betty Cross. I know she's under the weather. I wouldn't be surprised if she is watching or will be watching the replay. I'm sure everybody in the chat is feeling the same way, and we all send her our smoke and prayers and love and thoughts, and hopefully she'll be feeling better a lot sooner. Let's see what else is going on this week. Did a little burbot fishing, watched a lot of live streams, cleaned a lot of fish, stuff like that. Let's see who's in chat here. All right, I'll go over to the participants. Oh, Betty's in there. Hey, Betty, how are you? Everybody send her, like I said, good thoughts and all that stuff, and really inundate her and chat with good vibes and stuff, man. She deserves it. She's such a great supporter of all the streams. It looks like she might have just signed off. We got Catfish Weekly, Lyle the man. Lyle, that was a great show with Mike Chavez this week. If you haven't checked it out, you guys know how to find Catfish Weekly. If not, message me on Facebook. I'll point you in the right direction. But if you enter in Catfish Weekly in the search bar, it'll take you right there, and you can watch his huge library of good shows. Creole Catfish and Creole the man. What's up, my friend? How are you? Glad to see you in chat. Fin Seeker TV. What's going on, Jeremy? How are you? Dinks Outdoors. The brains behind Fin Seeker TV, right there. If you ask me, but don't tell him I said that. Fishing with the Chad. Chad had a cool show with Paul Smith. Hello, James Dockery's in here too. They had Fishing with the Chad last night. Very cool show. I was watching it from the banks of Lake Michigan up in cold Milwaukee, Wisconsin. But I did comment a couple times, but my fingers were numb. So I'm sorry if you were in there and you said hello to me and I didn't say hello back, but it was really friend. Greenwell Fishing. That's Mike Greenwell. Good name. I like that, Mike. I heard Chad mention you should go by bumping Greenwell Fishing, but Greenwell Fishing is good. I like that a lot. D. How are you doing, D? I was going to holler out D like I do in chat all the time, but I don't want to blow everybody's eardrums out. If you guys can hear, Coco's here too. She's stomping around. No Coco cam tonight. I didn't get a chance to set it up. Sorry for all the Coco fans out there. James Docker, I said hello to you. I'll say hello again to you. Again, James, hello. Jason Lamb, always good to see you, Jason. Jason, you need to do a 1-versus-1 against Josh, man. I want to see that on the bank. I know you guys can fish. You guys can pick your spots. You let me know. As long as you can get a signal, we'll get that set up and run. But that's something I know that everybody will enjoy watching. I don't think these people here realize that you guys are as diehards as you are. John Patrick Jr., what's up, my friend? Justin's Fishing Fetish. What's going on, Justin? I'm seeing Justin out a lot more in the chats. It's good to see you. Look at this. Am I a fisherman or what? I got bells on my desk. Actually, this bell came with the knife that I got from the one-ton crew. I'm grateful for that. It was a nice surprise. Can always use a bunch of bells. Kentucky Big Cats and Bourbon. What's going on? Hopefully you're enjoying some of that bourbon tonight. LG Bass Tom. Tom was on One Ton's video, the last one they put out. It was cool to see him. He did catch a real nice blue. I was kind of watching it in passing, so I don't remember the weight. But if you want to shout that out, Tom, LG Bass in chat, I'm sure everybody be happy to know. Or even better, go check out the video. Go see Tom in action. Mike Sampson, what's going on, Sampy? Great follower of the show, buddy. Always great to see you. Mike's Outdoors and Adventures. How are you doing, sir? Missouri M.O. Creek Fishing. What's going on, Rob? Our guest tonight is a friend of Rob's, and Rob pointed me in his direction, and I'm glad he did. I think you guys are going to enjoy talking with Jerry. Thanks for that, Rob. Missouri Creek Fishing. Muskrat Adventures had a great show on Tuesday night. Make sure you catch them every Tuesday night over at Muskrat Adventures. What's going on, Roger? Outdoors with the Hayes. Holy smokes, we got a lot of people coming in here. What's going on, Mr. Hayes? How are you? Mr. Hayes poses some good memes on and posts on Facebook. If you're not his friend, send him a friend request. Getting hooks and crossing eyes, also known as Redbeard. I call him Ryan when I'm talking to him. What's going on, my friend? I wonder I haven't posted, but man, I killed the burbot yesterday. I got 4 in about 2.5, 3 hours or something. Actually, all 4 came in like 90 minutes. It was pretty cool. What's going on? Sean Abney, welcome to the chat. How are you, my friend? I've seen you in here a few times. Skip Stewart, the man. Skip's another one of the catfish slayers in the house. Ace Catfishing, welcome, Ace Catfishing. Buckeye Catfishing, what's going on, sir? Catfish and Dreams. Catfish and Dreams, that's enlighten me. I'm sorry, man. I forgot who changed their name to Catfish and Dreams, but I did catch it this week, so that's a very cool name. Norm from Catfish Headhunters. Norm's show is moved to Sunday. Tomorrow is the Golden Whiskers Award. It's at 7:30 Eastern Time, 6:30 my time, aka Flathead time. Don't forget to check that out. That'll be cool to see. I'm really interested to see how that turns out. Let's see if I'm missing anybody else. I have so many people coming here. This is cool. We're at 38 people in chat already. You guys are great. Greenwell Fishing. I really hate missing everybody because you guys are also awesome. Justin, LG Bat. Lynn Leeper, what's going on, Lynn? How you doing? Muskrat outside of it. All right, guys. It is the holiday. Well, next week's the holiday week, and my next Friday show would fall on Christmas. I'm not going to do a show on Christmas. I'm going to celebrate it with my family and stuff. But once everything's all said and done, I might do a impromptu Christmas stream late at night. So if you're home and getting over, all the Christmas joy and just want to kind of hang out, relax, I'm going to try and put something together, maybe late night. We'll see how that goes. So if you're not subscribed, subscribe, hit that bell notification, and while you're at it, give me a thumbs up now. I greatly appreciate it. Also in chat, I'll go through and look, let me know what you guys think about that. I know some people might think it's just for family or it's a faith religion, but I guarantee you we'll have fun hanging out and chilling out and sharing a little Christmas cheer with each other. On a side note, I really wanted to find my elf hat. I was going to paint Catfish Weekly on it, but my wife and I looked for like half the day yesterday. We couldn't find it, so I apologize to that. On that note, let's bring in today's guest. Today's guest has a channel called Parker Pursuits. His name is Jerry Parker. Let's bring him in. Jerry, how are you, my friend?
Good. How you doing, Mark?
Good. Sorry for keeping you waiting. I had a lot to go through. I might remember something halfway through here. Everybody's wishing. If I'm looking over at chat, I'm trying to keep up with everybody. I'm trying to keep this as interactive as possible. I do see Mexicat just walked in. What's up, Mexicat? How are you? I think I got everybody. So, Jerry, finally nice to talk to you on here. I was looking forward to this for quite some time. Let's start with how long have you been doing the YouTube thing?
I've only been doing it about 6 months now. And my family, my wife, and my beautiful daughters and my nephew kind of really pushed me into it to give it a shot. And it's been a blast. I mean, it's really been a fun journey so far. So,
what is it? Anything like you thought it was going to be once you got started?
No, it's been a learning process trying to film, fish, because you got so many things going on at one time and trying to get that camera angle right and everything. At first, I scrapped so many videos when I first started out because the camera angle wasn't right, and just that my language sometimes would.
Well, the videos that I've seen of you do a pretty good job of all of that stuff as far as controlling the language and in your edits and stuff. You were telling me earlier that you have somebody else editing your videos, which would be a godsend for me.
Yes.
How does that work, and who is it? Tell us a little bit about that, because I know there's a lot of people out here that would love to have that for their channels.
Well, his name is Jeremy Bay. He's my uncle. I mean, I'm sorry, my nephew.
Your nephew, okay.
And he approached me about it. Said, "Why don't you video, and I'll do the editing for you, because my work schedule can be crazy busy sometimes, and my internet access where we live is not the best." So we got into it, and I'll get several memory cards full, and we just would talk on a daily basis, on different ideas we want to do for the channel and stuff. And he has been just outstanding helping me out with this. I mean, he's really helped me this, because it's been kind of a dream to do like an outdoor show ever since I was a little kid, and he's kind of helping it become a reality. And so,
well, the videos I've seen, he does a good job. You're lucky to have him on board with that. So that's definitely something I would be grateful to have, somebody just to drop off those cards and let somebody do this. I know when I'm editing videos, it takes me forever, and a couple of the guys that I talk to and message with back and forth that I value their opinion a lot. I torture them. If I got a video coming out, man, it's like back and forth with them, back and forth, and God bless them for listening to me. We got a question from Chad, and God bless him for putting up. There's Chad. It says, question for Jerry. Does your uncle want to adopt, or does your cousin want to adopt any more uncles?
I have to ask Jeremy. He may.
I see Palmetto Cats. What's going on, Kevin? How are you? He just came in. Great Outdoors Exploring. Sean, what's up, my friend? I'm kind of scrolling through chat. Mexicat, I said hello to you. All right. So what kind of gear are you using to record?
So what was that, Mark?
What kind of gear are you using to record your camera equipment and stuff?
A GoPro Hero 7. That's all I'm using. That little external mic is pretty much, I'm on kind of a low budget right now. And eventually, as my channel grows, I'm hoping to upgrade my equipment. I'm wanting to get a bigger camera for like backup shots and whatnot, because like I'm a low budget guy, and just like I said, it's a learning experience right now. So,
well, your channel doesn't look low budget. You do a good job of filming a lot of that stuff, and your editor does a good job of that. So I know that one camera filming is rough, 2 camera filming is rough editing, but once you get over that learning curve, it gets easier. Let's see, Skin and Scales just walked in. What's going on? Jeremy Bay, what's going on, sir? Sean Abbey. Okay, excellent. All right, so let's talk a little bit about where you're located. Where are you based out of? We don't need an address or anything, but
I am out of Perryville, Missouri, between Cape Girardeau and St. Louis, Missouri. And
okay,
so
we got a couple Missouri boys here in the house. We got Lyle at Catfish Weekly, and we have James Dockery. They're both Missouri boys. They're trying to talk me into moving out there. I think they just about have it done. I just got to make that happen. Where are you fishing out that way?
Everywhere. I do a lot of river fishing, Mississippi River. From my house, I can be in the Mississippi River in like 15 minutes. But I hit the creeks, ponds. I do actually a lot of fishing in Illinois. I can be in Illinois in like 20 minutes. And I do a lot of the strip fishing like Peabody, River King, Pyramid State Park, and just different areas over there, because they're really outstanding fishery over that part of the country.
I can imagine. I've said this again. I'm sure people are getting tired of hearing it, but I had my first experience on the Mississippi River this late summer, and it commanded a lot of respect from me. So, and I was out in my little boat, and you bank fish mostly though on the Mississippi. You were saying, right?
Yes, I do, and occasionally I will in like low water conditions. I will get my kayak in there, but most of the time I fish off the wing dikes, or like during high water situations, I'll fish a lot of the backwaters or outlets coming into the river, or creeks flow in, and have really good luck there.
You know, I did have some experience with a couple of wind dikes while I was out there, and you know, you're absolutely right. I didn't even think about that. That does, if you can get onto them, they would be perfect spots to fish, wouldn't they? And now that I recall, some of your videos, you're actually fishing from them there too, right?
Yes, because you get out in them wing dikes, there'd be that current seam. A lot of times below them dikes, ways out, there'd be a scour hole. If you can figure out where that scour hole is and get that bait right on there, you're going to get nailed if the fish are there.
Yeah, I think in one of your videos you were talking about, you know, look at the banks and oh no, I'm sorry, that was somebody else's. I think that was Quentin's video, but he likes to fish those wing dikes too, which is why I recall that you were using them as well. So that definitely seems, and Lyle talks a lot about fishing those wing dikes and how to target them and how to pick them apart, and he says you can do pretty good on them. So Justin wants me to move east to Ohio, I think. God bless Ohio. Hey, fishing with Sabrina, what's going on? Sunfish, I saw you pop in here. What's going on, Sunfish? Trying to see them. It's kind of hard to keep up with everybody, but I'm trying to keep up with everybody as they come in. So what's your favorite kind of fish to chase?
I love to catch the big blues, but I really like catching the big flathead, and probably smallmouth is probably my third. But them big blues, man, just when they hit like a freaking runaway truck, and it's just an awesome fish to catch because they're like top line predator, and they're just the way they just fight so dang hard, especially if you get them on lighter tackle. On one of my videos, I actually had a Garcia 5000, which is a bit on the light side.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, I call it my personal best fish on the little Garcia 5000 when I had it rigged up for channel cat, and I had it with a smaller piece of bait. And well, you know how fishing goes, so.
I keep saying this, man. Elephants eat peanuts. They really do. My biggest fish always came on the smallest baits. I love fishing big baits, and I'll get 30-pound class fish on them all the time if channel cats aren't killing my baits. But other than that, all my big ones, they're always a surprise. I get them on small bait. So I think we got Jeff Manning. Did someone say Jeff Manning was in the house? What's going on, Jeff? Team Reeling in Blues. I think I saw Chad say hello to him. I want to make sure I say hi to him. Avid Fisherman, what's going on? Avid's in the house. So how, in your opinion, how is flathead fishing and blue catfishing different, at least from the bank?
Well, from the bank, like your big blues, which a lot of them guys have, so they like that current. They really like that current. And your flathead, you do a lot better in that quieter water, and they're a structure-oriented fish. You can find your blowdowns and whatnot, and usually on the backside, like I'll catch some flathead if I'm on the wing dikes. A lot of time on the inside where the current's not so strong, and right against the base of the dike. And versus at night, I'll catch them closer to the bank in the shallower water. When the blues, most of the time, I'll usually get them out off into the main channel side of the river. So,
okay. Do you do a lot of is most of your fishing during the day, or do you do any night fishing?
I do some night fishing. I actually got one or two night fishing videos out, and I actually have some coming up. And I do a lot of the wing dikes and stuff at night for blues. But usually if I'm targeting flatheads, I'll usually be fishing off the main bank. I really like looking for those creek mouths at night when I'm flathead fishing.
When they're traveling to eat, I'm the same way.
Yep.
If I'm bank fishing, I'm fishing creek mouths and choke points and such like that. So you're going after it pretty good. What's your PB flathead and what's your PB blue?
My PB blue is a 93-pounder, and my PB flathead.
How big? Wait. You broke up. How big is that?
PB blue, the 93-pounder.
Oh my goodness, that's what I thought you said. You kind of took me for a loop there. 93 pounds. That's a heck of a fish.
And flathead with a 68-pounder.
That's a heck of that's a real good fish. I'm impressed. I've watched your videos, but I don't remember catching it being that big. Even the flathead. When did you catch that blue, and when did you catch that flathead?
Oh, the flathead I caught several years ago.
Okay.
And video, which is kind of hard to tell because I'm a bigger guy. I weigh 240 pounds, so I'm a kind of a bigger guy. So sometimes fish, but I put them on a scale, and I didn't post the weight on video because you get a lot of guys that kind of fire back and some stuff. So I'm just trying to keep it away from controversy.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. I don't weigh fish in my videos. I'll weigh them because I like to keep track. I keep logs or a journal. So I like to keep track of when the fish are biting. It tells me a lot as to when flathead go into spawn. If I'm catching small little dinks, consecutively, if I get 3 dinks in a row or 4 dinks in a row, they're in spawn. That's how I, verify for sure. And I'll move on to something else for 2 weeks, and then I'll go back and try it again until I hit that 20-pound class. Once I hit 18 and above, I know they're kind of done. So that's the only reason I weigh them, unless it's a PB. But I get what you're saying. You got a lot of people who, whatever. We could get into that all day. Tell us about that. The blue. How'd you get him? Where'd you get him?
I caught him using, and I was using cut buffalo. That particular wing dike, I was fishing a few days prior, and I kept seeing buffalo coming up to the top working. So and that's one thing I always try to pay attention to when I'm fishing, just what type of bait fish is in the area, which buffalo is technically not a bait fish, but there's a ton of them in that area. So I hit a little sidearm with my throw net, got some buffalo, cut them up, and it was on like Donkey Kong. I mean, I did this year. Cut buffalo was my number one bait for blue cats.
It's funny how that goes. I think that it has a lot to do with the bait population at that time or during that year or that season. There's 100%. A lot to do. Yeah, I've seen baits change. What's more productive at 1 year from the other at certain times of the year. So, which is another good reason to keep a journal. If you guys are out there listening, you don't have a journal, start keeping one. It's good information to have. But yeah, I get it. Use that whole match the hatch. Those fly fishermen guys, they're pretty hardcore chasing them little fish. I did notice that your profile picture on Facebook, what is that, a brown or is it a rainbow?
That is a rainbow.
That is a rainbow. Where'd you get that beast? That's a big one.
We actually here in Missouri, Missouri Conservation Department did a lot of urban trout stocking in wild lakes, and that fish was actually out of Legion Lake out of Perryville, Missouri. And I believe they stocked it with 3,800 trout this year. And right now, it's just a catch and release season. They put some real nice fish in there. So,
a lot of people badmouth trout programs and stuff. I don't. I enjoy it for other reasons. I don't consider it, a challenge like chasing the big fish and stuff. No. I consider it, it's a social event. You get out, you talk to people, spend a little time, take kids fishing with you. You can destroy some docks while you're out there trout fishing. Everybody in chat knows what I'm talking about. But I'm pro the trout program. I was actually listening to a podcast last night. Listen to this, Jerry. You ever hear a tiger trout?
What was that?
You ever hear a tiger trout?
Yes.
Well, tiger trout are they're bred like dogs. You know how they get, so to say, my bulldog, how they get bulldogs to be bulldogs. They do their breeding over the years and stuff. Well, what they found is when they take trout and browns and crossbreed them, and they heat treat the eggs is what makes. Don't quote me on the too kind, but I know they heat treat the eggs before they inseminate them, and that's how they get the tiger trout. So, but listen to this: in the driftless area in Wisconsin, which is the southwest corner. There's great little stream trout fishing, man, and their laws up there as far as access. You can pull up to a stream and get in that stream. As long as you stay in that stream, you can walk it for miles and trout fish. And the farmers actually get tax subsidies for allowing people to do that. They put in like bridges over fences, step bridges and stuff. It's a cool thing to do. I could do a whole show on that.
Amazing.
But people are starting to catch wild ones. Unsnipped ones, so that's kind of interesting to see or to hear the effects of the stocking programs on Mother Nature itself. Whether it's good or bad, I don't know. Most of the trout you get up there in the driftless zone are the smaller brown trouts, but they're as aggressive as they get. So the rainbow trouts don't have that big a chance to produce unless they get past that growth stage. Also, the pike population in those little streams is starting to grow. There's no big monsters, but to catch like a 24-inch pike out of a stream that's 10 feet wide and like a foot and a half deep is kind of fun to do, on a spinner bait. So that's a good way. I know you and Rob over at Missouri Creek Fishing. That sounds like I know it would be right up his alley, going through those little streams and some waders. He would love that stuff. I'm going to say hello to a couple people in chat here real quick. I see DMV Whisker King came in. What's going on, DMV? How are you? The madman, the marathon streamer himself. Tirador Arco, what's going on? Al, he said max to hatch. That's true for every fish, man. I don't care who you are. Ryan Bortz, Blue Collar Fishing. What's going on, Ryan? Ryan's a hell of a kayak fisherman. Have you heard of Ryan yet?
What was the name?
Ryan Bortz, Blue Collar Fishing. Ryan does kayak catfishing. He does tournaments, and he's doing very well. He's competing against people like Kayak Catfish and such. If anybody has a chance, make sure you check out Ryan's channel. It's a new channel. He needs a lot of support. He just recently got a sponsorship where he's a pro strapper for Chris Flores' Muddy River Catfish. He's getting some rods and stuff, so I'm always seeing him post those. And look at this, Jigging with Jake's in the house. What's going on, Jake? Jake's a friend of mine. We've been talking YouTube for a long time. It's always good to see Jake show up in the chat and support the shows. Let's see if I'm missing anybody. I think I might have everybody. I'm sorry. I got to look over at my other screen. But yeah, that was just a little side note. I went on a trout tangent. You got people who like trout and they don't like trout. There's mixed feelings, but I like them, and this is my show, so I'll talk about them. That's the way I look at it. Does Jerry enjoy targeting other species? I know the answer to that, but why don't you talk a little bit about some of the other species you like chasing, Jerry?
Most definitely. That's one thing with my channel. I'm a multi-species guy. I don't discriminate against any kind of fish. I mean, a bass, fish, bluegill, crappie. If it swims and I can try to catch it, I'm going after it. It's just the fun of it, changing it up. Hitting the creeks for bass one day, hitting the river for cat next day, or a farm pond for bluegill. It's fun all the way around.
I had Derek from Ohio Catfish Chasers asked me in a post. I posted those burbot. Let's be on a point. It was actually has nothing to do with this, but he was asking me, what's a big burbot, and we got into the conversation a little bit, and I ended up explaining to him that I chase fish like hunters chase game. You got your deer season, you got your small game season, you got your pheasant and turkey season. Well, you don't necessarily have fish seasons, but you have seasons of the year. In the colder months, for me, before ice fishing, going after the salmonoids, the trout, salmon, and such, going after now burbot's added to that. Going after that, obviously, bluegills, some channel cats and stuff. I kind of adapt to what's available to me. I want to feel that pull, whether it's catch and release or table fare. That's how I kind of go about fishing season to season. So let's see. We got another trout fan in here. Trout isn't bad. A lot of people don't like the way they taste, but I think it depends how you cook them. Me, personally, I'm not the biggest fan of them like baked or fried. I might be able to have a little bit, but if you smoke them and I turn them into dip, which is really kind of tasty, it's just kind of a side.
I've noticed, like, when they put their trout in, like the trout parks where they taste like that hatchery food, but you get them where they've been, like, say, in a lake for several months eating natural forage, it's a total different fish.
Yeah, I've heard people say that they turn pink. I've caught some that were pinker than others. We call them, holdovers. The stocking program here in North East Illinois takes place, at least in my county, in a couple of quarries, and quarries are super deep. So even in the hot months of summer, they're able to go deep. It's like 38 feet, the deepest at one point. And every spring, or sometimes through the ice, man, I'll come up with like a 20-incher or something, and that meat's always pink. Yeah, it's always pink, and that's because they convert to natural forage. So I would agree to you on that. Jim, Kentucky Catman Outdoors, what's going on, buddy? Thanks for checking it out. Let's see if we got any chat in. Any questions in here? Normally, you should try it. I recommend it. It's hit and go. Some people like it, some people don't. They got a very trout. How would you describe the taste of trout compared to, let's say, some whitefish or something, Jerry?
Ooh, well, they're nowhere even close to good as a crappie or anything.
No,
but they got a real firm texture to them. I like grilling them. I'll take a little blackened fish seasoning and do them on the grill, or just wrap them in aluminum foil. They're really good that way. Or even frying, but they do have a lot of small bones. Trout do.
They do.
And so one thing nice when you do bake them like that, you usually peel the meat away from the bones.
When I do cook them like that, I cook them whole. I used to leave the heads on, but my wife don't like that. I'll do the zipper technique where you cut them from the vent up to the throat, cut out the tongue, and peel the whole out. It's done. But the way, trout for me is kind of light and delicate, like almost like tuna, but softer, more delicate than tuna, but it's got that flaky kind of peel off the bone. And if you get them hot with a spoon, you can peel that meat right off the bone once you get the skin off. But that's just kind of how I go about it. Eating it that way is pretty good. Let's see. Roger says he's never heard of burbot before a week ago. I've known about burbot for a little while, Roger. It was one of the ones that are on my bucket list, and so, of all things, in the Chicago Sun-Times, somebody caught Illinois state record burbot, and I'm like, we have burbot here? I was blown away. I was like, I thought I was going to have to go all the way up, like South Dakota, northern Minnesota, even up north to Canada to ever catch one. It turns out they're, an hour, 2 hours from my house. So the next week, somebody caught the second one. They caught the record in 2 weeks. So wow. I don't know if it has to do with the fishery or not. Just kind of getting off there. All right. So you do some crappie fishing too, don't you?
Yes, I do. Even in the winter, I'll still go. Like I really like going over to some of the streams in Illinois. Got real deep water.
Mm-hmm.
That's an area like Kincaid. I get that a lot. And we're over in Missouri. Yeah, so crappie fishing around here, like Wapello Lake, Clearwater Lake, and a lot of farm ponds. And farm ponds are kind of a no-brainer. You can always seem like you can pick up some fish in the wintertime. So
I wish I had access to farm ponds and stuff around here. I know a couple that are, packed with them, but I don't know the farmers, and I'm kind of trying to. I don't know. Maybe I should approach them and see if they're interested in me thinning out their pond a little bit. But I've heard some stories about a couple of the ones around here, which is pretty cool. The other ones, I live in such a densely populated area, so I catch crappie, but certain times of the years, I wish I could go out and get them all the time. People talking about the weather, stuff like that. What's your favorite way to prepare crappie?
Fry them.
Just fry them up?
Little Andy's red. Fry them up. Some fried potatoes and hush puppies. It's hard to beat them.
Hush puppies. Now you're talking hush puppy. Now you got me thinking I need to make hush puppies with that burbot tomorrow for my folks. I think I better get up early and head out to the store. I need to get some supplies. But you can't go wrong with that. You ever cook them whole?
No, I've never cooked them whole. Well, now take that back. When I was a kid, before we started playing everything, we fried everything whole. Pan fried them, and the tails and everything get all nice, crispy. Kids used to fight over the tail pieces. It was like potato chips.
Like potato chips. Those tails are pretty good. Perch, yellow perch we have up here. We'll fry them whole if they're not that big. But those tails and those fins taste just like that. They're pretty good. Looks like Norm's loading up. Hey, Outdoors Addiction. What's going on? Oh, I think Outdoors is here in echoes. How's that, Jesse? What's going on, my friend? Hopefully that helps. Sometimes if I move my mic, that'll help, or I'll turn down the thing. Norm's getting packed up to go fishing tomorrow. Yeah, real quick, guys. Check out Norm's channel tomorrow. He's gonna fish live. Hopefully somebody helped you pick where you're gonna fish at, Norm. I figured you guys would know better than me the area, but I definitely think where the rivers meet is a good choice. So they're talking about supplies. So what's the weather like down there this time of year for fishing? You guys don't get any ice, do you?
Once, not very often. I mean, like last year we had a little bit of skim ice, but it never did freeze that hard enough to walk on. And it's actually been a couple of years. And like today, it was down to 29 this morning, and it got to 45.
Yeah, and that's not good. And you're way far south. For us, yeah, that's how come. Right now, I call all the ponds and everything. I call that being skinned over, where there isn't enough ice to walk on. So I don't go anywhere near that, and then the weather comes back and forth. So that's like before I started ice fishing, before I started going down to Lake Michigan, that used to be like the most depressing time of the year for me, man. I would be locked in at home. I couldn't get access to water or to fish or anything. I would try fishing the Fox River here, but the bank access is slim to none, at least for winter catfishing or any other kind of catfishing. It's kind of hard to get to. With a boat, that helps out. I got access to some private land too, so that helps. Now that I've been doing this, best thing I ever did about starting this channel, I'm getting tons of access and invites. But there's other fish. There's walleye and stuff that I'm yet to target. You guys have any walleye down there?
We have some, but not a lot. I actually have a little creek directly below my house.
Mm-hmm.
I'll catch them out of there. But if you catch one that's a pound, you're really doing something.
Okay. Are those walleye or are they pickerel?
Walleye.
They are walleye. Okay, so that's good. They got to be
Pickerel.
going somewhere. Follow where those creeks go. There'd be bigger ones in there, right?
Well, I mean, I've caught a couple in a couple pound range, but now I can cross the river and there's that little lake on a Randolph County lake. There's actually walleye in there, and there's some really nice walleye there. Or else, if you drive all the way to like Bull Shoals or Lake of the Ozarks, you can get in the walleye. So
the Lake in the Ozarks, yeah, that's where I want to move. Someday I'll be a Missouri resident. Let's see, we got any questions in chat? Let's see what we got. You got people complaining about the cold. Buckeye says something's 30 minutes from him. I'm sorry I didn't read all that chat. All right, so I know Rob from Missouri Creek Fishing. He loves his canoe. You kayak fish though, right?
Yes.
Big time. Do you ever go out with Rob?
Yes, we have. We actually last time, it's been a little bit because our work schedule has been kind of mixed up.
Mm-hmm.
We went over to Baldwin Lake in Illinois and had an awesome day drift fishing for catfish. Actually, I had my wife and his wife, and it's the first time his wife had ever been on a kayak fishing, and she absolutely loved it. So, but
now, since Rob can't defend himself, who's the better fisherman?
Me all day.
See, now Rob has to get. I've been trying to get Rob on my show. He says he's not ready. Now he's got to come on here and defend himself. Justin's Fishing Fetish says I can catch crappie all year round here. I should move to Ohio. Maybe I'll check it out. Here's a little side note, a little trivia. My wife actually worked in Ohio for a year. She did work in Cincinnati. She worked for Orange Coning for a year, so she was traveling back and forth. So, and Doc, he's giving him some of the business. Let's see what else is going on. Yeah, like I said, Norm is going fishing live tomorrow. Check him out. Let's see what happens. Yeah, Hayes wants to move out as well. So, Sunfish says kayaking. Okay, I had a kayak which I just got rid of. Actually, last summer. I'm sorry I did, but I just didn't have time to use it. I wish I had more time. But I used to love it. It's something about being able to sneak up on fish. And hooking into a big flathead on there, or just dragging a whole stringer of crappie around on the back, which is really good. What's your kayak? What kind of kayak do you have?
I have a Pescador Pilot, and I also have maybe a Perception.
Okay.
It's pellet drive where I do most of my fishing, but I also have another Pescador Pilot. So it's a smaller kayak I use for the creeks.
Okay.
Shallow water. But kayak fishing, I love it because there's so many places you can get to you can't get to with a boat. Like you were saying, being able to sneak up on fish. There's nothing like getting right over the top of a big flathead and hooking to them. And it's just a bit wild, you know. So
I know you guys are fishing those small creeks and stuff. Here's a question. I know some of the tactics for fishing those small creeks and waders, especially for trout and stuff, is walking upstream because they always have their nose in front of them, right? They're into the current. Do you guys ever do that in kayaks and canoes? You guys ever paddle upwind fishing?
I do a lot of times. I'll paddle up and then I can just drift back if I'm not going to another bridge.
Mm-hmm.
But like I do like to be able to come up behind them, especially if they're your smallmouth and bass. Because the same way that nose being that current, it's better to come in behind them, not spook them. Because a lot of these creeks over here are crystal clear, and these fish can get really, really, really spooky, especially this time of year. They're extremely.
Yeah, in the winter, that water, it really, really clears up. Cool stuff. The Sunfish Assassin says he's got a $200 kayak that he's probably pulled 1,200 fish into this year. That's a heck of a job. Good job, man. Let's see. There people are making plans in chat, which is great. Oh, Mrs. Fishing Fetish, let Justin get a new kayak for Christmas. Maybe you need to talk to Santa. You got any plans for fishing over the Christmas holiday?
Yes, I do. I'm actually there's a spot south of me. They call the block hole, and it actually does have walleyes that feeds into it. It got some real nice spotted bass and some smallmouth in it. And it's a really super deep hole, and it's Hubble Creek that feeds into it. And it's an outstanding fishery in the wintertime. As long as we don't get a lot of rain, get it muddy. If it gets all muddy and everything, I'll go hunting. I'll climb up the tree.
Go hunting. Let's talk smallmouth a little bit. What's your favorite way to or favorite tactics for going after smallmouth? I'm a fan of smallmouth. I'm not a big largemouth bass fan, just because this my area is over inundated, man. You could throw a bucket in and end up it having a bass in it. Pretty much that's how much bass is out here in the ponds and stuff. But smallmouth, that's a different animal on the river. What's your favorite way to go about them besides like a kayak? Like what kind of baits do you like using? Time of year, areas you like to fish, stuff like that. Can you tell us some of that?
I really like going after them probably like late April, early May, before the spawn down here, because usually they're on the beds about May, and I don't like catching them when they're on the beds because the sunfish and everything will just decimate the eggs. And it takes smallmouth so long to get to a decent size, and they're kind of declining the creeks around because the spotted bass moved in. But I love throwing a Ned rig for the smallmouth.
Oh, yeah.
They're being finicky or top waters. I love throwing a top water. A little Whopper Plopper 90 or a little Zero Spook. And do really good. Or just any type of crawfish imitating jigs or anything. So
those, I know there isn't a lot of guys who fish for bass and stuff, but if you start fishing for like, for smallmouth, man, those Ned rigs, those little turds, man, they're deadly. I don't know what it is about that. You just kind of stick it, get it in the bottom, and just kind of drag it along there, and anybody can catch fish with one of them.
They catch everything. I've caught drum, channel cat. I've caught flathead on it.
Oh yeah. Fish love them things. Hey Sean, it's Parker Pursuits, correct? Is the name of your channel?
Yes, it is.
I always want to say Parker's Pursuits, but that's not it. It's Parker Pursuits. I do have a link in the subscription. Also, if you notice in the subscription, there is a link to support the channel. Here we go. So if you'd like to support the channel, you can click on that link, and I'd greatly appreciate it. It goes to help pay for StreamYard costs, camera equipment costs, fuel costs to get places, things like that. I haven't really got that much, so we're still working on it, but I'm really considering alternative methods of payment and not going the route of monetization on YouTube for political reasons. Let's say that. Justin just got a dirty look because his wife won't let him get one. We got out there with the Hayes looking at a new canoe. That Hayes, that's a heck of a canoe. Those new canoes, man. I went for a demo days. Do you guys have demo day? You got any kayak dealers out by you?
No, Academy Sports is about the only one that has a decent selection. It's about the only one. And we have fellas in Bass Pro.
We have a kayak place here in Rockford, Illinois, which is about it's an hour from me, and they specialize in like new canoes and Jackson stuff like that. I wonder if they have native in there now too. I don't know. Hold on a second. Excuse me, people. Trying to be polite. And those demo days are great. I got to try a new canoe. I got to try the SS-127. Who makes those? I forget who makes those. Bonafide. Sure. Bonafide, is that what it is? And the Jacksons. And you know what? Being able to try them side by side was awesome. So, Hayes, if you're going to do that, find your local dealer and find out when their demo days are. It's the best way to go. Also, listen to this, Jerry. There was there's a Jackson rep there, and I don't know if you're familiar with that Jackson Kayaks makes Orion coolers. Are you familiar with Orion coolers?
Mm-hmm.
They make Yetis look like a bargain. Well, while he was there, I talked him out of a 25-quart Orion cooler to get him to make me buy Jackson Big Ribs. So I got like a $400 cooler for free. So I couldn't complain about that. He gave me the one out of his truck. I'm like, fine, I'll take it, no problem. But that's a little side note. Let's see, we got dirty looks. What's your favorite time of the year? Do you guys? Well, here on the Fox, we have seasons for smallmouth. It's definitely catch and release. For me, always when it comes to smallmouth. Yeah. But I think we can't take them until June 15th. You guys have any laws like that in Missouri?
Yes, in Missouri, it's Memorial Day. Is when you can start keeping black bass out of the streams until 15th of February, I believe it is, and then you have that period of time between there. It's strictly catch and release.
So they call them black bass down there?
That's what you look at the regs, they call it largemouth, spotted bass, smallmouth, all in the regs as black bass.
Gotcha.
So, and they got to be 12 inches in the creeks to keep around here, except for a few of the trophy waters.
So, what other kind of fish have you chased?
Oh my goodness, I've done some saltwater fishing. Tarpon, snapper, different stuff. As far as freshwater species, just about everything that swims in the state of Missouri. I went out in Illinois. I mean, stripers, all species of catfish, walleye, sauger. I mean, a lot of my videos, like I kind of got a variety pack. And actually, the video I have coming out next week will be a carp video.
Oh, cool. Carp is fun to catch. I've been watching these two, I don't want to say kids. For me, they're kids because I'm old. But these two young men from England, I think it's Carl and Alex, I think is the name of their channel. They do a great YouTube channel, man. Those guys are like, they're on it. All their stuff looks like something like a BBC documentary, but it's really good. And those guys love their carp. They love their pike. They love their perch. And they're really good stuff. So if anybody has a chance, look up Carl and Alex online. Check them out. You'll fall into that trap or into that rabbit hole. You'll be watching forever. Anybody ever call Bartram's bass? Do you have any idea what that is? Never heard of it. Sorry about that, Sunfish. I figured I'd ask. I thought maybe he would know. Yeah, I hear you. Rockford is definitely near you. Betty says she's on the mend. Let's see. Gotcha. That's why that came up. Understandable.
That's way south. Yeah.
That's way south. So tell me, you had mentioned a couple of saltwater species. Tell me about your saltwater adventures.
We actually, for a good friend of ours, my brother-in-law and us went down to Corpus Christi, Texas, and we went 100 miles offshore, and we fished for red snapper. What else did we get? We caught some tuna, we caught some barracuda, we caught some grouper, and the grouper was kind of a crazy thing. My brother-in-law was with me. He's like, I want to catch some big fish. So I took this massive fillet, and I hooked it. I said, drop it down there. And he drops it down. And he said, well, I'm hung. And my brother-in-law's a big boy. And he's like, boy, he's cranking. He gets it in. And there's a big old grouper. And the thing was like 100 pounds.
Wow. That's crazy.
Kayak fishing down around Flagler Beach, Florida. Actually, I didn't have my camera equipment with me. I just went out for a fun day. And I caught my first tarpon out of a kayak. And that was a blast. And caught some different multi-species down there. It's a good time. Boy, saltwater, though. First time I ever fished it, I didn't realize how hard that stuff was on your equipment, and it absolutely destroyed my Garcias. And I learned how you got to break them down after every use.
Yeah, there's a reason why some of those, spinning gear and stuff like that cost $500. Just because they're made out of materials that aren't going to corrode. It's the nature of the beast. But if you're not hosing that stuff off as soon as you come in, from the couple of people I know that do fish saltwater, they say he gets wrecked. And not to mention your boat motor and stuff. I know you're not, but if you're not flushing your motor when you pull it out, you're going to be in big trouble. That's why they have diodes and stuff. That's another story. So let's see if we got any questions in chat. Time is flying here. Jerry, it's already 7:49. Did you think it would go this fast? I told you this would. I told you you'd be good on this. You'd have a good time. I want to make sure I include people in chat. I didn't miss anybody. We had a bunch of people checking it out. I know there's a couple of people live streaming and such. Real quick, just to know that Jerry's link is in the description. It's Parker Pursuits. Check him out on YouTube. Give him a sub. I'm sure you'd appreciate it. We're here to help each other grow and help promote one another's channels. So, Jerry, what kind of rod and reels do you use?
As far as all my catfishing, I like my Garcias, and I run ugly stick rods and all my catfish gear. As far as my bass and panfish stuff, I'm a big fan of lube. And I also like the Fenwick rods for my bass and crappie.
Yeah, those Fenwick rods are nice, man. I like them a lot. I have a couple of Fenwicks. I like St. Croix too. The Fenwicks are a little bit cheaper, not so much anymore. Did you notice that the price of the Fenwicks is going up?
Everything has went up since this past year. All fishing tackle seemed like it's kind of definitely went up price. So
supply and demand. All these people during this pandemic and stuff are actually trying to get out of the house and do a little bit of fishing. So
it's been a bear just trying to get tackle. Some this stuff, especially some of my catfish tackle. I mean, I had the hardest time this summer just getting basic tackle hooks and stuff. And it's just crazy.
Yep. I ordered some. I ordered a 25 pack. Was it 2-aught? Gamakatsu octopus circle hooks. I'm still waiting on them. It's been a week and a half, so it is what it is. We'll get them when we get them, right? Oh, Lynn Leaper subbed, Sunfish subbed. We got a bunch of people subbing, so that's cool.
Thank you very much, guys. Thank you for the support.
All right, so is there anything else you want to talk about as far as your channel goes?
I pretty much put out a weekly. We have a weekly video out, and it's a like I was saying before, it's a multi-species video. I even have a video where I put snorkeling gear on and went underwater and was catching fish off a hand line, just for something different. And I've got a bunch of stuff planned for this summer, a bit different stuff. So I'm really looking forward to this upcoming spring fishing season. So I'm gonna kind of go a little out of my comfort zone and hit a lot of different spots, try to keep the content fresh. So
there you go. Keep doing what you're doing. Be yourself. That's the way I kind of go about it, and it's paying off pretty good. So, I mean, if you're true to your viewers, there's a lot of people out there, that aren't and stuff, and it shows. So, anybody that ever looks for any advice from me, I always tell them, be yourself, show your passion, be passionate about what you do. So, and I don't think there's anybody in this chat that doesn't feel that way. Trying to make sure I didn't miss any questions here, Jerry. I know Ned rigs are awesome. He's right there. They're pretty easy. Yep. Let's see what Ace says. Ace want to know about your rods and reels, so we got that taken care of. You do some hunting on your channel too, right?
Well, I was trying to, but I've got to upgrade my camera system. I missed some really good opportunities this past hunting season, which hunting season still going on, but I got to upgrade my camera.
Yeah, definitely. how'd you do this year for whitetail?
I killed a few does so far, but I am really selective as far as buck.
Bucks go.
And I've got my standard held pretty high, and I've passed on some really, really nice deer.
Well, you got your freezer taken care of, right?
Definitely.
That's a good way of going about it. I didn't think about that. If I was looking for racks, I'd definitely think going after the does first would be a good idea. So, what's your favorite saltwater fish to catch? Eric Jackson's a new viewer. Hey, Eric, how are you?
Well, I really like the snappers, like red snappers, because just talking about table fare, it's hard to beat. But that and another one I love catching, they're not worth their darn eat, but the Jack Crevalle. Holy cow, them things, when they hit and they take off like a freight train. The first one I ever caught was only 15 pounds, and I had on one of my Garcia 6500s, and that's dang near spooled me.
That's crazy.
So
saltwater's a total different animal, isn't it?
Yes, it is. I mean, it's all about the tides and everything, which I don't have enough experience with it because I know it made a huge difference in where the tides and everything go up and down. And like I did a lot of like the Indian River down in Flagler Beach. I noticed, boy, as soon as that tide started coming in, it just a bite would just kick on like crazy. You know, it was amazing.
It's crazy how that happens even in on Lake Michigan. Lake Michigan, it's not the ocean, but I think the fact that there's some sort of tide, some sort of shift in big shifts in water temperature and bait fish and stuff, man, when those bites turn on, it's crazy. And I like to be there. He said Jerry would be a good guy if he didn't feel the need to chase deer when he could be fishing.
That's right.
Venison tastes good, man. I can't say I blame him, Rob. You ever do any red fishing?
Yes, I've done a little bit, and them things are a blast to catch too.
That's on my bucket list. Tell us a little bit about that. Where'd you get the reds?
Down in Flagler Beach, Indian River, actually, and I was up against a bridge, and I caught a handful. And I've never caught anything real big, but man, the ones I did catch, they were a blast. But I've seen some old locals catch some just giant bull reds, and so
I'd love to get down to the Gulf, down Louisiana way, go visit Creole, and then go do some I'll go do some blue catfish bumping, and then go do some redfish fishing with down there. Sounds like it'd be fun. Sounds like it'd be a trip in heaven for me. So I don't know if you know Creole, but Creole is Jeremy Dufour. He's a heck of a fisherman, lives down in Louisiana. That boy can cook, that boy can fish, and that boy can talk. He's a good guy. He's a real good friend of the show. And we love having him around here. Let's see. Welcome back, Ryan. Ryan says he's back. That's cool. Let's see. And if you caught 35 pounder, people talking about the fish they caught. Let's see. I saw Chad in here. What's your dream fishing trip? Chad wants to know.
Ooh, boy, that's a tough one. I'd love to go to Canada. Yeah, I'd love to go to Canada and do some smallmouth walleye.
Mm-hmm.
I've had some friends of mine when they come back, and you hear about guys, you get the bass thumb all raw. They say 100 fish days are not uncommon. That's definitely, or like talking about the trout. I'd love to go to New Zealand and fish the canals over there because they've got some rainbow trout over there. They just look like mutants.
Yeah. If I'm going to New Zealand, man, I'm chasing game. There's something about red stags and stuff out there. There's no predators out there. And the fish the fish have their own predators, but yeah, they got some monster trout and such down there. And also, do they have barramundi in New Zealand?
I know it. Australia they do.
They do in northern Australia. They live where all the alligators live. That's the problem. That's what makes them exciting.
Yeah.
They're like Australia's version of bass, only meaner and fight a lot harder. Some guy, I was reading a story, listen to this, there was some tackle company that let like 10 fish out worth like $1 million ridiculous dollars, right? And they double tagged him. And one of the guys that caught him noticed the tag while I was reeling it in as a crocodile was chasing the bait in. He had to fight off a crocodile to get the fish, and he got the fish. That was a cool story.
In the video.
That's pretty cool. Man, Australia, New Zealand. Australia's way more crazier than New Zealand. There's no predators in New Zealand, but Australia, man, it will kill you there if you let it. Anything almost. All right, we got some of the we got D in the house asking, do you prefer mono or braid? And I'm guessing she's talking catfishing.
Okay, mono. I love mono when I'm around rocks. If I'm fishing around the wing dikes or a lot of rocky structure, I love the mono. But if I'm in my kayak or if I'm around woody cover, it's braid all day. And I like to braid my kayak because when I get a fish up next to my kayak, I can grab the braid, and handle the fish. It really helps.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I give a lot of people grief about using mono and stuff because I like using braid. But it's so it so depends on the conditions and where you're fishing. Braid works for me because I need to get them fish out of cover. I need, if I'm in my boat, even in 4 or 5 feet of water, I can't have him under my boat. He gets caught on one of the tines under my boat and it's done, so I need to be able to horse him into the boat, which is why I use a little oversized gear even for channel cats. But I totally get it. Mono's a good deal, but I've went to break mono off and dragged my boat like 5 feet off of anchor doing that. 50-pound mono's no joke. 30-pound mono's no joke. So, Betty, hopefully your mom will take you. You should go. You and Brandon should head out there. Let's see what else is going on here. Fishing in Canada is truly amazing. He was there twice as a kid. Absolutely loved it. Yeah, that's a trip to remember, Mike. Definitely. I fished right on the Canadian border in Minnesota, and that's a different world too. We just didn't have to cross the border, but something about nobody for 20 miles, 50 miles, and you're out there fishing, which is pretty humbling, which is definitely a reason to go. See if we got any more chat. All right. Great question. Catfish and dreams. Let's see. I don't want to miss one before. Captain Down Under. What's going on? Or Carpin Down Under. See, we got Are you from Australia, Carpin? We were just talking about Australia. Favorite fishing snack or food when you're out fishing? What's your favorite one?
Deer jerky. Definitely.
Oh my God. You're going to have a bunch of people like jealous in here. I know there's a lot of big fans of the deer jerky. So John Boy's catfishing in the house. Hello, John Boyce. All right, Jerry. Well, look at this, man. We made it an hour. That was quick, wasn't it? It goes by fast, doesn't it?
Yes, it did go by. Now, Mark, thank you for having me.
You know what? You're very welcome. Everybody in chat, make sure that you go down in the description and click on Jerry's link. Give him a sub. Take a look at his stuff. I do want to remind everybody that the only way a creator actually gets the sub to last is if you watch some of his videos or at least one of the videos. So go ahead and do that. Make some time to do it. And I'm sure he'll be greatly appreciated. It's a great way of thanking him for sharing his knowledge and his stories here today. I want to thank Jerry. I want to thank everybody in chat. A couple of other things. Things are going crazy with the site, with the channel. Things are going crazy with the Facebook group. I want to say thank you, especially this time of year being the holidays. I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas. For the people that donated at the link below in the description in the past and in the future, I'm truly grateful. It allows me to grow the channel. It allows me to continue sharing my passion with all of you. You guys are the best. You know who you are. I'd mentioned some of the people, but I know some of the people made donations that don't. So thank you for watching, everybody. Have a Merry Christmas. Oh, a real quick reminder, I am considering doing a late night Christmas show. If you guys are bored after the family's gone and everything, maybe we'll hang out. Let me know on the Facebook group. I'll decide from there. Subscribe to the channel. Ring the bell notification in case we do, you'll get to know. Merry Christmas, everybody. God bless. And thank you, Jerry. Thank you, everybody, for being here.